Disney princesses have been under a media analysis microscope for decades. Are these heroines sending bad messages? Do they negatively influence girls' self-esteem? Are they secretly good role models this whole time? Disney princess analysis is often the introduction to media analysis for a lot of us. The particular characters who got the short end of the stick for this type of criticism were the first three: Snow White, Cinderella, and Aurora. Countless blogs, articles, and nonfiction books call these characters out for their supposed passiveness and sitting around relying on a man to rescue them. Even Disney has been sort of apologizing for them for decades. Over time, that narrative started to crack. Snow White and Cinderella have gotten a quiet redemption arc. People noticed their resilience, optimism, and the fact that they did take action within the limits they were given. But Aurora didn't get that same fan redemption arc. Not really. Aurora still gets labeled the boring, helpless one. I argue the rumors are not true. Aurora isn't boring. Not even close. In fact, she might be one of the most relatable Disney princesses. Maybe I'm defending her because she happens to be my favorite Disney princess, but stick with me. Because there's a lot more going on with her than people give credit. We're gonna look into why Aurora from Sleeping Beauty does not deserve the boring label, and why she's anything but. So now, let's get started. It's no secret that all Disney heroines have their own set of critiques. Ariel's an airhead who disrespects her dad. Belle is a not like other girls girl, and all the rest. The critiques aimed at Aurora feel especially harsh. According to her critics, Aurora doesn't do anything, sleeps for most of the movie, and gets saved by the prince. She's the princess with the least amount of screen time. She isn't even the protagonist in her own movie. The three fairies claim that role. Even the biggest debate about her, is her dress pink or blue, that is boring. The Belle Stockholm Syndrome rumor is at least interesting. And I hate to say it, but if the Disney Princess brand officially lost its mind and decided to remove one character, you just know that Aurora will be the one going. Perhaps Aurora's relative unpopularity has something to do with Sleeping Beauty's relationship with the Disney company. This was Disney's most expensive film at the time, and it ended up being a financial disappointment, halting their string of non-stop monster hits throughout the 1950s. The original Shaggy Dog was the company's annual success. It wasn't particularly successful with the critics either. They felt the movie was too similar to Snow White, and that the characters weren't especially memorable, particularly the leading lady. And that reputation has sort of stuck with her. So let's take a step back. Aurora's entire life is shaped by something completely out of her control. At her christening, Flora and Fauna give her a gift of beauty and song. Maleficent shows up and curses Aurora because she's upset that she wasn't invited. On her 16th birthday, Aurora will touch the spindle and then will die. Because nothing says, "You should have invited me," like dooming a baby. All Merryweather is left to do is soften the curse. Aurora won't die, she'll just fall into a deep sleep until true love's kiss breaks the spell. Aurora is sent off to live in a secluded forest cottage, raised under a fake identity, completely cut off from the world. Outside of her three fairy guardians, no one else is in her life. And somehow, in all of that, Aurora still manages to show more character than people claim she has. For starters, she's one with nature. If she's going to live in a forest cottage, she may as well totally embrace the environment. When the fairies send her out to pick out berries, something she literally did the day before, she doesn't complain. She just goes, and she seems to be enjoying herself. Thankfully, she's friends with all the forest animals. They're her community, and that says a lot. People who are kind with animals often possess higher levels of empathy, emotional intelligence, and nurturing instincts. Read between the lines, and that's exactly who Aurora is. Plus, animals are great at sensing character. Aurora just exudes warmth and kindness. She's also completely at ease in her world, calm enough to go around the forest singing, and doing dance routines like she's in her own bubble. That confidence and comfort is what draws Prince Philip in. And what? She's friends with the forest, she communicates with them, they help lead him to her. I doubt they did that intentionally, but they wanted to recreate the wonderful dream she had. And one way she keeps her happiness is because she's a dreamer. On her birthday, she wakes up in a great mood because she just had a beautiful dream. Her main song is about reoccurring dreams. A specific man keeps showing up, and she holds onto that feeling throughout the day. Her dreams aren't random. They're what keeps her going. When your world is as small as Aurora's, you either get better or you create something better in your head. Aurora decides to lean into that happiness. She's lonely, but gets serotonin from her dreams. And that hopeful, nearly stubborn optimism says a lot about her mindset. People who have these kinds of wish fulfillment dreams tend to have a more hopeful outlook on life. They believe that something better is coming, even if they can't control when. Does she make any direct changes to get what she wants? No. But at the end of the day, she manifested her man. The literal man of her dreams showed up in real life. She sang, he listened, he was interested. Call that fate or coincidence, but it starts with her refusal of giving up hope, which leads to another defining and relatable character trait. Aurora is a lover girl, but she doesn't want just any sort of love. She's particular. She sings, "If my heart keeps singing, will my song go ringing to someone who will find me and bring back a love song to me." She not only wants love, but someone who cares for her equally. And then she meets Philip. Though the instant attraction things only works in movies, it doesn't end too well in real life. That sort of thing, take your time with. But that doesn't make her reaction any less relatable. Realistically, she low-key sabotages herself by running away and saying he'll never see her again. But then she tells him that she lives at the cottage. We see her human side. She overthinks and slightly panics when emotions are high. When she has a crush, she's over the moon. And when she's told she can't see him again, she runs to her room crying. On her birthday. Like it's the worst thing to have ever happened to her. And just like she planned, this interest is reciprocal. Philip takes her seriously. He meets her, sings with her, and plans on marrying her. Okay, that's going a little too fast, but at least he's intentional. By the time Aurora gets her happily ever after, she's already proven something important. She can face hardship and still choose happiness. All of these traits, her connection to nature, her being a friend to animals, her dreams, and choice to stay hopeful, shows that she's softly strong. Strength and softness allows you to remain open, empathetic, and resilient. Her warmth and kindness are exactly what brought good things to her life. It's a shame that softness is sometimes described as something negative, like I've seen people compare others to cupcakes, as if it's a bad thing. I can't disagree more with that. Cupcakes are sweet, pleasing to the eye, and bring joy. All those sound like good things to me. Aurora has that same energy, and I love how she's so poised and graceful. She has near ballet training all on her own. Now, I think Aurora exhibits traits anyone can learn from, and of course, the story around her leans heavily on fairy tale logic. Yes, it's not realistic that you'll get a birthday curse, and you certainly won't fall in love at first sight. But in the story's context, Aurora has been criticized for being too passive. Some viewers pointed out that Snow White and Cinderella aren't really the archetypical distressed damsels as they've claimed to be. Don't call them that, but Aurora is the one that really deserves that label. She doesn't do anything and gets saved. But here's the thing. Sleeping Beauty exhibits a specific type of power fantasy. When people think power fantasy, they picture armor, battles, saving the world, the big, greater good scenario. Aurora's is different. She meets the man of her dreams, falls asleep, and said guy fights a fire-breathing dragon for her and rescues her from a curse. If that's not a dream, escapist scenario for many, I don't know what is. Almost every Disney hero or heroine gets a wish fulfillment moment at the end. Rapunzel escapes an imprisoning tower and gets to live a life of community and freedom. Aladdin no longer lives the street rat life and lives in a palace with his dream girl. Aurora's winning moment is getting to live life normally again and falling in love. That's her power fantasy, rooted in dreams, patience, and wish that life will deliver on its promises. Most of us won't experience a moment where the fate of the world is in our hands, but we all work towards our own individual happiness. Sleeping Beauty also challenges some Disney movie cliches. For one, her mom is around. A pretty revolutionary choice for Disney at the time. And her legal guardians genuinely love and care for her. No evil step-parents, no family dysfunction, and they're 3 women fairies. Aurora didn't grow up in a quote-unquote standard family, and yet she still feels content and secure in her home life. And yes, she's definitely the protagonist in her story. The central conflict, the curse, is all about her. The narrative revolves around her life, fate, her choices, however subtle they may be. Aladdin is centered on Aladdin. His name is in the title, and Jasmine is absolutely a protagonist in the story. So who is the most boring Disney princess? None of them. That title doesn't exist. We keep going back to Disney princesses, debating them, comparing them, asking which one we're most like, because they represent different ways of being. They all have different personalities, different strengths. Their happily ever afters also look different. For some, it's changing the world. For others, it's self-discovery, freedom, falling in love, or a mix of all those things. Aurora's story hits a very real nerve because not everyone gets to be the hero charging into battle or have control of their circumstances. All they can really do is exist, staying kind, hopeful, and dreaming away. Aurora in the story keeps getting saved, whether it be by the fairies or Philip, but her personality, her warm, kind spirit, is incredibly influential. That is a form of power, just not the kind we're used to recognize. Aurora represents a type of strength that doesn't get enough credit. It's not flashy, but eternal, showcasing the message of, even if I can't change the world around me, I can still hold on to who I am. And that's all I have for the character strengths of Aurora. Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you all in the next one.